Meeting, Carroll County Commissioners meeting to order for May 21st, 2014. And we'll start off with public input. You have public input? Okay, go
That's
ahead.
what I was here for, sir.
Go ahead.
Unfortunately, I was hoping to find Commissioner Kenney because here also.
She called in, she'll be here at 10:15 if you want to wait.
Okay, I can wait.
Okay,
Are you gonna have a chance to open up public input when she comes back?
we will. And if you want to make sure she's here, we'll do that.
Okay.
Special exception for Will, wouldn't it
Yeah. All right.
Thank you.
Anybody else public input? Seeing none, then we'll go into the
be? Agenda.
On the agenda, we had a call to Kathy Vizard, Hill's location. I don't think that's necessary. What we were going to call about was the reevaluation of Hill's location. We have a contract here from Comeau, Nieder, and Perkins. They've done this before for Hill's location. I would make a motion that we approve this bid proposal for calendar year 2014. It's $8,000, and the completion of the evaluation on 2015, which would be $13,500, for a total for the entire project, $21,500. This is to reassess or reevaluate all of the housing that's in Hill's location. I believe there's something like 150 different places there. So I'd make that a motion that we approve the...
I'll second it, David.
You second it? Any further discussion on it? All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Aye, then so voted, and I will sign it. It requires all three, or at least two commissioners, and I will put on there the date of today, which is May 21st.
And what's the full name of the company?
I'll give it to you. Comeau, Nieder, and Perkins.
Nieder?
Commerford, Nieder.
And Perkins.
And
okay.
Perkins.
Yep.
Appraisal and Assessment Services. And we need to have a witness, so you could be our witness.
Okey-doke.
Oops.
It's May 21.
Oh, that's right. Where did they do that? I'm glad you're witnessing this. If you want to start in the back or whatever.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't know she was coming in. Okay,
We'll go ahead and schedule that.
we got some minutes we can.
Yes.
There's a whole bunch of them.
Everyone that has a red tag?
Yeah.
And one tag is missing.
And one tag is missing.
Well, you didn't sign this one at all.
Okay, I'll sign it. Sign on the second line.
I didn't sign that one.
What did I do, missing?
Yeah. Compare that one.
Yeah. Oh, you gotta sign this one too.
Did I miss one?
Yep. There must be another one here too. Those two, I think.
Oh, it did.
You can check and make sure
Yeah,
you
I'm
signed
gonna,
all,
I'm gonna
okay?
do the reality check, yeah.
Okay, we have the minutes for May 14th. Are there any?
Yes, I have just
corrections?
one correction on page, let's see, page 7 at the top. 1, 2, 3 paragraphs down, second paragraph on the work session.
Yeah,
Commissioner Babson said that recently an employee had driven to Logan Airport a distance of 136 miles. No, I said the mileage we paid the employee was $136, not 136 miles. So if you
Okay.
could change that,
Okay.
so it's not the distance
it's,
we paid,
yeah. Actually, at 50 cents a mile, it was about
136.
miles, but,
Well,
okay.
136 times 50 plus 108 leaves 244, I think.
Well, we don't worry about that, you can figure that out.
Okay.
But that's supposed to be $136.
okay.
Okay.
And then down below, I would just like to add the words, there will be reimbursement only for mileage and tolls to
Where?
and from Dover in the vote, in the motion.
Say that again? Employees travel to
There will
Logan?
be reimbursed for only mileage and tolls.
To and from Dover,
Yep.
and bus fare between there and an airport. So maybe consider that.
Oh, that was the other thing that's not in here. I'm sorry, that you're right, there was something else in there, Michelle. I also said that, from the complex to Dover, or from the employee's home, or
Okay,
Dover,
so
whichever is closer.
I've got the printed motion, I'll just substitute this for
Okay,
what's in
that's
here.
fine. Okay.
I completely forgot that I had an actual printout of
Okay,
the motion.
And we want to make sure that motion goes to Lynette, so that she can send it out to the department heads.
Yeah,
That's not your responsibility, that's for David and I to remember.
well, I can add it to
David,
the
me, or
email,
not?
I can add it to the email list.
Oh, okay. Other than that, they're fine.
okay. No other corrections to the minutes?
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes of May
May 14th.
14th.
Okay, I'll second it. All those in support of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Then motion passes. Okay. We got notice from State of New Hampshire Superior Court from Chief Justice Nadeau, inviting us to a meeting on September 19th at the Holiday Inn in Concord to address the initiative for filing felonies in Superior Court. And invitees include county attorneys, public defenders, representatives from the private defense bar, judges, court clerks, superintendents, law enforcement, county commissioners, sheriffs, and state legislators.
What was the date, Dave? September what?
September 19th.
What time?
Doesn't say.
Well, they serve a good breakfast here, let's go for breakfast.
It doesn't say a time. But basically, it's talking about trying to eliminate 2 to 4 months of delay in the overall process of resolving cases.
That's the pitch she came in and gave us here.
Right.
And of course, our county attorney's response is it's going to require 3 or 4 more people
Yep.
initially to get it rolling.
Okay, in early July, we will send you registration information, so please save the date of September 19th. So early July, we'll have a further announcement and
Okay.
hopefully a date. We had a proposal for a request for a proposal regarding the roof repair for the Carroll County Department of Corrections. This was done up by Jason Johnson. The closing time is May 16. We gotta change the dates of that.
Well, it's now the 21st, we got a vacation, how about making it June 16th?
Okay. And roof repair and delivered in triplicate by June.
I thought we just said 16th,
By what?
June 16th. It's supposed to be, didn't you say originally it was supposed to be May 16th?
RFP. Oh, June 16th, right. Closing time. Oh, we gotta change something here.
Why, what's the problem?
Well, he had it April 16th
That'd be okay if it was next year.
to pick up bid specifications, right?
Oh,
Um,
if it closes the 16th of June,
Yep,
shouldn't we make it June, you can pick up your prints starting June 1st? You must have them over there if
yeah,
they're ready to
yeah,
pick up in April.
let's do that. Okay, June 1. Roof repair and delivered in triplicate by June.
16th.
Closing time is June 16th.
Let's just make sure that's not a Sunday.
Yeah. June 16th's on a Monday,
Make it that,
so it needs to be in by that Friday, the 20th?
well, it's a sealed bid, so we can't open them, so what difference does it make whether they get there on Monday or Tuesday? Before that meeting, we want to open them on that
So we'll open them on the June
18th and
18th?
19th or whatever it is.
June 18th,
Yeah,
so.
so have
closing
them
time,
be here by
June
noon
17th.
on the 17th, and then we won't have to argue with anybody who's got one late or it came in late or.
Okay, you want to look at that?
Yep.
Morning, Commissioner Kenney.
I apologize, I'm running a little late. First, I got a notice there was no meeting. After a couple hours, I hear there was still a meeting. So I scheduled a couple of appointments.
Okay. On Monday, I had announced that we would have to have a meeting today to approve the RFP for the old nursing home. I said that to the delegation, but it's understandable that you made other appointments.
No, I got actually an email that it was canceled. There was no meeting.
Yeah. However, we still, because we started at 10 o'clock, we still met the deadline for our meeting. I think every Wednesday, we ought to plan on any meetings that we have coming up to have them at some other time other than at Wednesdays, and just set aside as a commitment that commissioners would meet on a Wednesday. Okay, to bring you up to date, Commissioner, we have, you can look this over and you can sign it if you wish.
What
This
it
is
about?
the Comerford Nita Perkins appraisal assessment for Hales location.
Okay.
It's, what was it, 8,000 for the first year, 13,500 for the second year. And the 8,000 is in the budget for 2014.
And she's not here? Or did she
No, we don't
already
need it.
left?
It's just a,
Oh, but I
It's a
see it, I see
reevaluation.
it on the agenda.
I know,
Was she coming today?
no. No, she couldn't.
Dave, we gotta, you gotta change this on the back. This should be May,
Not
should be
May.
June, what did you make the date? June 17th.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. You want to report on the extension meeting the other night?
Yeah. Last night I attended the annual or the monthly meeting of the Cooperative Extension Advisory Board. Representative Bucco was there as representative from the delegation, and I'm there as a representative from the commissioners. We had a presentation by Wendy Scribner on the logging industry or timber industry in New Hampshire. We did our usual other business, and we had a guest speaker, Maynard Thompson, who came in to speak about his Raising of the Bar organization, which, as I see it, is something that's needed. It's a method in order to increase profitability for people that are raising locally grown food. He did confirm that he's still not a supporter of the government paying for the cooperative extension. It was a nice exchange. I think he's on the right track with trying to improve profitability. There was also he had some information from places in New York City that were paying, I don't know, Will, what was it, $14 a pound for ham slices. But as everybody pointed out, this wasn't New York City, but he made his point in that there are other places we may not get that kind of money, but we can increase our sales by expanding our distribution. I think he's on the right track. It was an interesting conversation, and that was about it for the night. Cooperative Extension also would still like to be housed down here. They were kind of shocked to hear that the probation office was interested in the back, but I think they thought it was the front. And once we explained to them that the probation wanted the back, and they could still have the front if they wanted it. Dean Pike is retiring. He's been at the Cooperative Extension more years than I could count, probably. And they're having a thank you night for him, a party for him, gathering sometime in, was it June, Will?
I think so. I
No.
don't remember the date either, but I think it was June.
Okay. But that's about all that came out of the meeting.
Could I ask you a couple of questions?
Sure.
One was, the wellness trail talked about at all?
No?
And what's happened to the logging job that was done on our property that messed up our field? They didn't do what they were supposed to do in returning it back to its original condition?
That's not under the purview of the Cooperative Extension.
Wasn't that under Wendy, though?
Yeah,
and
but
her?
she wouldn't be discussing that at the advisory board. That she'd
Okay.
be discussing with us here. But there has been, I think we'll tell you, there's been some movement made, stop or go, or something's been happening up there.
Has there, Will, been anything done regarding that logging job
I
off
think
our property?
Last I talked with Wendy was a few weeks ago, and she was looking into it. I haven't gotten back to her to report on what is going on, and I can give her a call today, see if I can get a hold of her and ask for an update on that, but I know she was looking into it, and it's still on her radar to
Okay.
take care of that.
Okay. Do you have any meetings to report on?
No.
Okay. You want to talk about that proposal?
Well, why don't we get Will back to work?
Oh, I'm sorry. You're correct. Come on up, Will, or whatever. This is public input that we delayed until Commissioner Kenney could be here. Go ahead.
Yes, I just want to thank Chairman for making an exception to let me talk
Okay.
again on public input. I just want to come here and make a couple of thank yous to the commissioners. I was not able to attend the meeting Monday for the delegation meeting, got reports back from some of the commissioners, and wanted to give a heartfelt thank you to all the commissioners. Especially I got special feedback from Commissioner Kenney that helping defending the pig project that we do here, and how successful that's been in justifying trying to keep that going. And I just wanted to say thank you to all of you for that support on that. And also wanted to mention that an extra thank you to Commissioner Babson. This weekend we didn't have to run a manure spreader. He brought his up along with his horses, and we were able to spread some manure. We even did some back behind the nursing home and notified them, so in case any residents wanted to look out the window and see that, it was a real neat thing, seeing horses pulling the manure spreader. It's unusual, so that was a fun day, and I just want to thank for that also. That's all I had.
Okay. Thank you, Will.
Thank you.
I would also like to thank Commissioner Kenney. She, by far, was the outstanding member of this board promoting Willie's program over with the pigs. Thank you, Asha.
Will, it came up at the delegation meeting that you made a statement during the tour that you were eliminating the pigs. You changed your mind, I take it,
That's
or it's still up in the air, still yet to be decided?
still up in the air to
Okay.
be decided, I guess. So, we
Okay.
did, recently we took, about a week ago, we took 4-week-old piglets up to the elementary school in Ossipee Central School and had 4 or 5 different classrooms. The teachers brought their children down to see the pigs and talked with the kids about them and stuff, and it was kind of a neat opportunity for them to see young piglets. So we're still doing as much education and getting out there as possible. Whether we keep going or not,
Okay.
it's still up in the air.
Okay, very good, thank you.
Thank you, have a good day.
Thank you, Will.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. you have been meeting with, while we're waiting for Ann to come in, you have been meeting with probation officer, and you want to talk about the meeting that you had with the head person in Concord, I guess it was?
Yes, maybe I've lost track of time. I thought we did that last week, but we didn't.
We did it at the delegation meeting, right?
Oh,
On Monday.
I'm getting old, I can't remember. But anyway, they drew up their own print, and I'm sure I thought I gave you all one of those last week. But they also sent in their own interpretation of what they need, so that we'll have some idea of what to go out for bid. I thought I sent each one of you two this memo on my proposal for a request for quote. I don't know whether I did or I didn't.
No. This is the first.
First you've seen of it?
Yeah.
Okay, well, it went out to the probation department anyway. Carroll County Commissioners are seeking proposals and pricing for converting the eating area in the old nursing home to office space. The project will contain, but is not limited to, 1, creating 3 partitioned offices. Partitions to reach within 18 inches of the ceiling. That's so that they won't interfere with the sprinkling system. Create 1 fully enclosed office. That's for privacy. Install 2 single doors. They'd be on the main corridor that goes down through the building.
Right.
One right after you come in the back entrance, which they would use, and the other between the Bob Murray service area and the eating area. Erect 2 dry walls, a total of 26 linear feet. That's the best I could get off of this, because these are supposedly 1-foot blocks on this page. Those 2 dry walls one of them would take in the 2 doors, and the other one would be across here. I can see now I've made a mistake. I've got to strike out the amount of linear feet, because it's not correct. Put in 3 air conditioners to the outside. That's to be decided whether they'll use the 2 units that are still working and still there in the room, or whether they punch through the wall above the windows and put small units into the outside. That's why we're making it a request for a proposal to see what the difference would be, and create a receptionist area, which is in here.
So this is their design, right?
That's the one we have to work with.
Okay.
They took this and came back with that.
Okay.
Any interested
That's
parties should
The old dining room,
Yeah.
and this is where the kitchen stuff is. What's that?
Any interested parties should contact the business office at 603-539-7751 to set up an appointment to see the area involved.
Okay.
The only thing I gotta change is this 26 feet.
Since it's a relatively inexpensive project, I would hope that local construction people who do drywall and put up walls would enter a bid. Where would you suggest that we advertise for that?
Conway Sun and
Independent?
and the Independent and the website.
Okay.
And I agree with you. It's a typical smaller size job that local contractors ought to be able to do. And we keep the money local.
This still leaves space for maintenance?
Yes, this area, I don't know. This area, they were originally gonna put the wall here.
Yeah.
And this was where the beginning of the maintenance area was.
Okay.
But this is all empty, and I said, this is silly, if you're gonna put the wall up, put it up right there, and then you'll have all this extra space if you need it in the
Are they
future.
would they pay by the square foot for that space?
Yeah. I guess if that's, when we figure out what we're gonna charge, I would have to guess that would be included. You know, we can always lease it out at a lower rate for that area until someone wants to use it, until they decide they wanna use it, but there's no point in putting a wall here and just having a big empty 10 by 20 space, because it's gotta be locked off from the maintenance area by
Yeah.
their security.
I guess-
Their security reasons.
My thing might be that, should we find a rental, a firm or company or whatever, for the front portion of the building, there's no space in the front for a meeting area, and I'm wondering if that would be a possibility of having a meeting area there, located there,
It certainly would be.
which, why don't we put the wall there? We can always put a door in there.
Well, that's, if you look at the plan, that's what they've done. They've put the, oh, no, I'm incorrect. They're going to put the door over here at the edge of the service area, and then there's gonna be a door. This wall would, you're right.
Which wall are we talking about? That wall right there?
Yeah.
Which is
They
where?
were originally gonna put the wall right here,
Yeah,
and I guess they still are, because it still blocks it off into the maintenance area. This would not have any wall at all, and it would just be an empty space.
but your,
Don't go by this. This is after we showed them this and they got, or this was their original plan. And once they came and looked at it, this is what they came up with.
so they still have that wall where you wanted to put it, right? Up against maintenance?
Well-
This space right here?
The only thing I can't tell, David, is whether,
You got the three offices, which is 1, 2, 3,
you know,
and then you got,
well, the point of also of having the wall over here is they could make these three offices bigger if they wanted to. Apparently, they didn't want to. Area proposed subdivision and build out for, okay, well, that's what they've done. They put, that's the edge of the maintenance room right there.
yeah.
This is, well, you can see there's two walls here, basically, because they've come across here and there's only just a little walk-through.
Yeah,
So they have put it in their plan to take that extra space.
okay. So you don't think we should save that space for a meeting room?
Not if they're gonna pay for it.
Okay.
And the first come, we may, yeah, it might make a meeting room, but right, as it stands right now,
This is maintenance.
we're not gonna
present.
ever get the cooperative extension here.
What
so
I'm
why
talking
we're
about is
first come,
putting a
first
wall
served.
right here and keeping them here and having this as a potential meeting room. But if they're willing to pay for that space, then we could do that. You got any questions, comments?
No.
And you got the bid specifications?
I'm going
It's
to
here.
put one on her desk.
You got
I
one?
have this.
Okay.
That's yours, David, I think.
All right.
Well, we'll have to correct the
make-
number of linear feet. And that's it, unless you want to add or subtract anything else.
Oh, I see, the 26 linear feet?
Yeah.
So that's not correct?
No, that's not correct.
All right, what's your privilege on this project? And where's the money coming from? You make a motion that we propose, that we put this out for bid?
I'll make a motion that we put the proposal for an RFP for renovating the kitchen area of the old nursing home for the use of another facility.
Do I hear a second?
Renovating what again?
What's
Kitchen
that?
area?
What?
Is it the renovating kitchen area, he said?
It's adjacent to the kitchen area. It's a,
What I said was renovating the old eating area
yeah.
Oh, eating
for
area.
use by another facility. Or I think that's what I said.
You second it?
Let me see what the motion precise is. Renovating old eating area. So you put out the
Yeah, it's eating area.
yeah. And the fonts,
And the what?
who's going to renovate it?
Well, that's what the RFP is for. We'd advertise it in the Conway Daily Sun.
Yeah, we advertise it, but the money then, the funds, who's going to pay for it?
Front's got nothing to do with it.
No.
Front's not.
She's saying, who's gonna pay for the renovation?
Well, we're gonna, but it doesn't cost us to get any, other than the advertising, the RFP, it would give us an idea of how much money that we're gonna have.
We don't know
to-
how much it would cost until we get the RFP back.
So you just want to put the RFP out and see how much it costs?
Yeah,
And then we're going to see if we're moving forward.
right.
Okay, second then.
You second it? Okay. Any further discussion? All those in support of the motion say aye.
Right.
Aye. All those opposed, nay. So, 3-0. Would you pass this through HR to make sure we got the right, or
Yep.
Kathy Geary, so
Yep.
we got the right
Yep.
writing? Okay. Is that yours?
Yes, it's part of the package.
We do have a concern from a Louis Merrithew. It's Merrithew.
Lois.
I'm sorry, Lois, right. It's in regards to her husband. And the question is to the commissioners regarding her husband coming into the new nursing home.
Mr. Chairman?
Go ahead.
Why don't we take Ann, because this could develop into a fairly long conversation.
Okay.
and she probably needs to get-
All right, Ann.
Morning, Mrs. Dayton.
Good morning. I don't know if you got copies of the letters or the reports I gave to you. One is on the sale of the stand-ups,
Oh,
letting you know
yes, we
what
did.
was generated and to whom those were sold.
You got that? I didn't get
Yes,
it.
I did.
And the other is, which is pretty self-explanatory.
Do you have the figures for me?
I will give you some. I'll get you. I'll give you another. Actually, Mr. Babson has them. Do you have 2 copies now, Dave?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was just thinking
I
if
didn't
you
bring it up,
have
but
one.
I read it.
Thank you.
I give you the salesmanship award for the year.
Well, they're gone, and it didn't read.
Did they
you know,
all go?
They're all gone.
They're all
Okay.
gone.
They're all gone, and, you know, the county didn't have to move them, and didn't have to move them twice. We would have had to move them to the old nursing home, and then we would have probably had to move them to the dump.
Yep.
So, as it caught on, when a couple of people said, I'll take some, it was kind of mushroomed. So, before I knew it, they were all tagged and ready to roll.
So I can take away your award then, because it was word of mouth from the first person to follow.
And when they saw the first 2 going
didn't
out,
sell
they
them.
realized
You
it
didn't
was
sell the other.
serious, I guess. I don't know.
$140 in checks and $20 in
So
cash.
$160? Is that what we got?
Yeah, it
Okay.
beats having to use our labor and and gas and so forth. And they removed them themselves. I held doors, but I would refuse to touch any. You know, I said, you're on your own.
Yeah, yeah.
The other one was letting you know that I've been asked to host another meeting of the tax collectors and assessors here.
Oh,
And I do it in the evening when their offices are closed. It's a very useful tool. We share many similar experiences. We record all of their town tax liens and redemptions here. There are a lot of times we need to clarify how they're doing their job, and we
Mhm.
need to hear what they would like from us.
okay, you'll arrange for the opening of the building?
Yeah, I let the sheriff's department know that we're expecting people and responsible for them all leaving the building.
Okay.
They bring food. Well, sometimes I've brought the food, but they said they would take care of it.
Okay.
And we actually just meet in one room, and then I allow them to use the computers and
Mhm.
understand how we work here,
Yep.
so that the information they send us.
Do we have
is-
many new tax collectors?
Bartlett is new. I don't know, because I really don't keep track of the, unless it's in the Independent of the
Yeah.
Conway Sun, I'm not
Yeah.
aware of it.
Well, it's a
pretty
good
much-
idea. I think it's great that you're gonna have that.
Well, sometimes they do bring their assessing people if they want to come too.
Yep.
Because now, most of the towns are using assessing offices, and they make the changes. When we send them the deeds and so forth,
Yeah.
they're making the changes in the systems. And so the tax collector's office only really has a book and page. They don't
Mhm.
actually have the document. And the assessors are pretty much in charge of this. So in that case, they change. They're not elected. So they change. I know Ossipee's like 3 just in the last 2 years. So,
Is that right?
it's a matter of re-educating people.
They're not elected positions? Did you say?
I don't believe it's elected now. It's hired.
Really? Oh, okay.
Yeah. But anyway, it is a very useful dialogue.
Okay. And that's, you got a date for that? June
June
11th?
11th.
Okay.
If
Good
that's
for the
not a problem.
newspapers, June 11th? Got it. She's got it already?
Yeah,
Okay.
well, we've had others. We've had the genealogy, we've had, some historical meetings, and
Okay.
it works out well at night. We have a hard time getting them to go, because it's interesting. I mean, it's the other link to what they do.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned on Monday that, I think you did, it was my understanding that we're way behind in income coming in.
Mhm.
And I know I talked to one of the researchers in your office.
Yeah.
He said he'd been out of work for 2 months
Yep.
because there wasn't anything going on. How far behind are we? Any idea off the top of your head?
I'm down 1,400 documents, which.
We're down 1,400.
Which is a lot, because we record 16,000 documents, about that a year, anywhere from, used to be we were 18 and above, but of course, the economy and everything has
Yeah.
made those changes, but
So in
1,400
dollars?
was a significant, we're down dollars, yeah. But I have to tell you, since that meeting, on Monday, well, the end of last week, we started seeing an increase in the volume and an
Hmm.
increase in sales. So perhaps our long winter has had something to do with it.
Yeah.
But we've had a lot of sales.
Hmm.
Well, when I look at the picture of where we were losing the revenue,
Yeah.
it was in recording. Now, that can mean any kind of document, and so that can mean any number of things.
Yeah.
But I do see the bulk of what we were seeing is not as many mortgages being recorded. And when we don't have a lot of activity, then so doesn't our copies amounts
Mhm,
goes
mhm.
down. But the real estate transfer tax, in that period of time, and I actually did it up into April, was not, they were okay.
Hmm.
So,
Okay.
more expensive housing selling in the lowercase, the lower end, and right now, maybe it's the middle of the market that's
Mhm.
starting to come back, hopefully.
And is it fair to assume that if mortgage registrations are down, home sales are down?
Not really.
I'm sure that some
Because a lot
are-
of mortgages are refinances.
Oh, refinancing.
Yeah, well, that's where a lot of the mortgages come in. You get mortgages most of the time with deeds, but
Okay, I was thinking
more
just for
often
new
you see
sales.
them when people are, either they're going to do renovations or they've got a better interest rate. And we had that going from at least 2 to 3 years ago, when the mortgage rates were down between 3% and 4%, and now they're going back up. So the people who are going to refinance either have done it, or the banks are being very cautious and not lending to anybody as often as they were before.
Okay. Anybody got any questions?
Okay,
you.
I'm done.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No, I don't need that. I need the numbers, yeah.
Okay.
All right, yeah, okay.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, getting back to this correspondence from Lois, who lives in West Ossipee.
No, she lives in Tamworth, but,
What's
oh,
this?
no, you're right. I thought somewhere it had a Tamworth address on it. On the original
No, they
one that I
both
saw.
worked in Tamworth
Both
and
worked in
Sandwich
Tamworth.
area. The question is, what does she have to do to get her husband into Mountain View Community Home? Right now, he apparently is in Golden View. But it's, you know, to travel from here to there when he could be here. And I believe we had a correspondence from the superintendent, the director of the nursing home.
Nursing home administrator.
Yeah. I don't have a date on it.
No, the back page is his response to Mrs. Merrithew.
Okay. Yep.
And what you had was the partial printout of
Yep.
his explanation to us. Which, could I read, because I gave you a copy of that. No, I got that of the partial email that didn't print out. There it is.
But basically, he said, please know that we are actively changing our systems and that I will have more definite word for you soon.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, go ahead.
Having read this, my gut feeling is, we approved a policy that Howard brought into us, what, a year ago? Admissions policy?
What's the policy, you recall?
Huh?
What was the policy?
An admissions policy. We worked on it for quite some time, and they finally came up with a final version of it, and we approved it, and I think we ought to go with that until,
Is
until-
that, I want to ask you some question. Is that the policy that says that we have a certain percentage in there for rehab or for therapy?
No, that was it, that was the business plan that was
Okay.
presented to the subcommittee
Okay.
that was budgeted this year. We
And the-
came up with a policy of who would come in, how long they had to live in Carroll County, if
Oh.
they had to live in Carroll County,
Okay.
et
Yep,
cetera.
I remember
And
that.
I think
Okay.
we're just looking to jump into hot water if we start changing the rules in an individual case
Yep.
for, but we should have a policy that somehow assures an individual that at some point they'll get in. I mean, I think Howard's right. How do you know, how do you predict how many open beds you're gonna have 8 months from now?
Yeah. Yep.
And I don't think we should get involved in it until such time as Howard changes the policy and we have to review it and okay it.
Okay. So you feel that he has responded to her?
Yes.
And that we will continue to move along, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, I have a comment.
Go ahead.
So this person actually applied since November 2013. Yes, we have a policy, but I think if there is still a special case, if there is something that a taxpayer from 42 years in Carroll County bring to our attention, I think the board can talk with Howie and still do something.
Mhm. I would agree with that. I think we should talk with Howie to find out if there's anything else that could be done.
Well, if I understand what Commissioner Kenney just said and what you just said, that puts us in the position of being the final arbitrator who gets into the nursing home, and I don't want to be in that position because I don't have the knowledge. And I think that we ought to leave it up to Howie and go with a policy that we have until, as he said, he's beginning to review a new one when, May 15th, he said he started, something like
Right.
that.
Right.
And when that's done, when he comes in here to get it approved, then we have the opportunity to tell him whether we like it or we don't like it. And if we don't like it, we shouldn't approve it. And if we do, we should.
Okay.
That's why I said we need to talk to Howie about this.
Well, you talking about the admissions policy or about?
About, and also about his case, what is going on precisely.
Well, are you talking about this case in particular?
Well, this is brought to our attention, or not?
Mhm.
So I
Right.
think if somebody, a taxpayer who was 42 years here and paid taxes, brought forward this to our attention, I think we should talk to Howie, still talk to Howie. What are we going to say to the people? Yeah, thank you for bringing it. Nothing's been done. We still talk to Howie about this.
Okay, since I'm sort of responsible, as set out in the beginning of when we first started 2 years ago, I will talk with Howie about this case, just ask him some questions and not get us all involved in making the decision as to whether the person comes in or not, but just to follow up on it, okay?
Yep.
All right. Now, the next item on the agenda was an RFP for the old nursing home. Here's my proposal to you, and if we want to change it, I would definitely be open for suggestions. This board would have to approve it anyway. And what I did is I looked at Bonnet, Page and Stone's, like the delegation said on Monday. Not necessarily that they would get the bid, but to use some of their information as to what we need to do for the old nursing home. So, what I have written here is the Carroll County Board of Commissioners invites you to submit a proposal for general contractor for the renovation of the former county nursing home in Ossipee, New Hampshire. Project to be completed by October 1, 2014. Bid specifications will be available for pickup. I don't have the date yet. That's something we need to decide on at the Carroll County Commissioner's office. Project includes demo of 2 wings and new wall replacement, re-roof the entire core area, and improvement of the laundry area. Now, what I left out was improving the maintenance and what else was there?
What do you mean improving the maintenance?
Well, they had in here $75,000. Maintenance area and storage area, $75,000. I took that out. Took out cooperative extension. And I did not put in there anything regarding the design or contingency or equipment. I didn't put that in there. It's just those 3 items. And,
Would you read them again, please?
okay, demo of 2 wings and new wall replacement. That's the wings on this side of the building.
Mhm.
Re-roof the entire core area. And 3, improvement of the laundry area. Now, they had specifications as to what needed to be done in the laundry area. And, well, I won't say the bid because, I won't say what they had because that would throw things off, but basically it was reworking the laundry room, making it more efficient, redoing the interior portion of it. 3 new doors, frames, reworking the 3 existing ones. The largest, more chemical storage shelves, folding counter. Mechanical allowance was the most expensive item, and I think in that bid proposal, it was to bring in a new machine so that they could be more efficient in their operation and to shift things around so that it was more efficient use of the space that was available.
Did it include hooking the pellet boiler up to the hot water system in there?
Doesn't include that. We could put that in if you want to.
I would think that would be a separate bid.
Not included in this one?
Oh.
Okay. What he's talking about is the heating in the old nursing home is tied to the boiler, pellet boiler, but the hot water for the laundry is not. At the time, it was going to be not cost effective to run the water from the pellet furnaces on one side of the corridor to the other side of the corridor. And to me, that needs to be done once we find out what that cost would be. So any other comments regarding what I'm
Well,
saying?
One of the reasons for my
Yep.
thinking of that, if they're gonna change the laundry room around,
Yep.
before we ask anybody how much it's gonna cost to hook the piping up, we need to know where everything's gonna be.
Yep. Okay. And then, in those 3 areas, the bid specifications would be at the Commissioner's office, so that anybody could come in and look at the specifications, and then submit a bid. Basically, what I've got here is to see if any construction company out there would be the overall general,
Contractor,
what?
general contractor.
General contractor, correct. Because I don't think any one of us is capable of doing that type of thing. I know it's
I'm
gonna.
not,
What's that?
I'm not.
No, I'm not either. It would be very time consuming and you'd have to be here supervising, and I'm sure the general contractor will put out additional things for bid. For example, taking down the wings. The general contractor's not gonna do that, gonna hire somebody to come in and do it. Putting up the brick wall, and other things here like the re-roofing the core section. So anyway, anybody got any further comments regarding this proposal? Go ahead.
I was surprised that the delegation was talking about when the 18 months was up, and I think they said June, didn't they?
I don't know.
Or August. It isn't when my recollection of it was. I thought it was sometime around the middle of the winter. But if it is June, and they are correct, maybe we should put in the request for quote that 2 walls are coming down for sure, and there might be 4.
I had that in the original one,
But I don't know
but
how
I
to word it.
didn't, well, I had in there the possibility of tearing down an additional 2 wings of the nursing home. I would assume that if they bid for the 2 wings and the wall, for the one we are gonna take down, that it would just be duplication to take down the other 2 wings.
I wouldn't assume that, because they have to haul all this equipment over here. If they have to haul it over here.
Or if they have to do it a second time.
It's gonna cost more money.
Well, that's true.
So I don't know how we would word it, the possibility of a second wing, or ask them for 2 prices, one that would include 2 wings and one that would include 4 wings. You could do that. 2 quotes, it'd be just the same. All they'd have to do is add or hopefully subtract if they went to 4 walls. Something should be cheaper if they don't have to come over here twice.
Well, that's true. I guess we need to find out when that 18 months is up. Do you have any idea?
I don't know, I think we need to check the delegation minutes of when they make that statement and see, and then add time.
And that was done was that done
Well,
last fall?
Dottie would know. She's the one that's got the deadline hanging over her head, so
Okay,
she ought to know when it is.
because if it's June, if you think it's June,
Well,
This year?
they said some on Monday, I'm sure it was, because it shocked me how quick it was. They said, oh, we're coming up on it very, do you have any recollection, Melissa?
So it is next month.
I thought it was next June.
A year from June?
I thought it was after the budget cycle and the election and everything.
It was
the
passed
budget
in
cycle for the year
September,
2015?
wasn't it? October?
That's what I thought.
That'd be more like what I had in mind.
Yeah, but if it was, when did they make it? In 2013?
Was it September,
Was it
October, wasn't it?
2013?
What?
Wasn't it September, October when it was passed?
It was
18 months?
18 months.
We gotta go back and look at
We
the
need to
minutes.
go look and see,
Well, if it is June, then we would, then we should put that in there as a possibility.
Yep.
Okay.
and we need to ask the company if we put it in, if it is the same quote for 4 wings at one time or
Yeah,
2 wings.
okay. Demo with the 2 wings and the new wall replacement with the possibility of an additional 2 wings and wall replacement. And ask for separate bids. Okay? So what's the feeling? Is this ready to go? We need a
Yes.
lot more work or
No,
what?
just a little tweaking. Let's get
Do I hear a
it moving.
motion then, or we put this RFP out?
I'll make a motion, we put the RFP out.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
You second it? Okay. Okay, so the specifications, we can have them pick up the specifications in June, and they would have the bids submitted by the 1st of July,
That's if we give them all of June to do it.
if we give them all of June, so it'd be the first week of June. Okay, we could have it ready by the 2nd of June. That's a Monday. And today's the 21st, so if we get it I don't know how long it would take to put it in the, in advertisement, and where, the next question would be, where do you want to advertise this?
That was, one of them would be, I would think, the Dodge report.
Dodge report,
It's
okay?
a big job. Union leader,
Union leader?
yeah,
That's an expensive one.
Yeah.
well, you know,
It's a-
they want it to come down.
It's an expensive
otherwise-
project if it's $1 million, right?
The website.
You have any other suggestions?
Yeah, we put it on the website. And where are they usually advertise these kinds of big jobs?
I can find
Except
out
the
where
Dutch
the nursing
report.
home went out for bid.
And how long are they getting again?
Must be in by the 1st of July.
Okay.
That's a Monday at 10 a.m. So that we could take action on it to file that Wednesday.
I think maybe we ought to, because these people plan ahead, that we ought to put in something like, the project should be completed by,
I said October 1,
completed or started?
completed by,
Oh, you did, yes. you
project to
did,
be
yeah.
completed by October 1, 2014.
Yeah.
So when are they starting with it? They're going to start July then?
Anytime after we accept the bids, which would be the first week of July. So then they'd have the rest of July, August, September. I don't know, maybe that's
They have
cutting it too
only-
short.
Yeah, I think so.
Want to go November 1,
Yeah,
Why don't,
December one.
if we have,
December 1?
if we have this company, why are they not coming for the tool and see what is feasible, like how long it takes? We need to ask also someone like a little, how long it takes and then give them that range.
Okay, I told the delegation on Monday it'd be October 1. You want to change it to December 1?
Yeah, we can tell them that, yeah, that when we sat down and began working on it, it really cramped up the schedule and might eliminate somebody that could bid on the job because they've already planned their workload through.
Okay. December 1's fine with me, it's okay with you?
If it's
Project to
better,
be
yeah, then
completed by December 1?
October 1st, yes.
Point of order,
Yeah, go ahead.
discussion about this,
What's that?
discussion about the RFP.
Yes,
Is this going out as one project?
yes. For the nursing home, yes.
And we got, what, the roof, 2,000 square feet for probation and the
No,
two
no,
wing?
no, that's separate. What we've got is the 2 wings and the wall
Yeah.
goes against the core. We got the roof, and we got improvement to the laundry area, which was part of Bonnet Page and Stone's proposal, initial proposal. However, I don't think we need to put a bid in there for putting up a wall for maintenance. That was $75,000. I don't think we need to do that. We can put that up ourselves if we have to. What was the other things?
Left off 2 or 3 items.
Cooperative extension.
Yep.
What,
We took that out.
why couldn't this be split up? And put it out, you know, I mean, they've been putting roofs on buildings around here for hundreds of years.
Yeah.
You don't need a general contractor to do that. Does the county pay taxes to Ossipee?
Yeah.
They do. So why couldn't you use the building inspector from Ossipee
No.
to make sure it goes, the roof is put on to code? And if not that, you could always hire a clerk of the works. You don't need a general contractor to put a roof on. That
No.
would save
no,
the
but-
taxpayers a lot of money.
No, but to tie everything in, for example, through the roof, whatever we're gonna do with the laundry, there may be more holes through the roof, or there may be some that's eliminated. So it needs to be all tied together, I
So when
think.
the roof ties in, when the 4 sections come down Mr. Brown, they tie into the building and we gotta fill those holes. The same guy that does I'm willing to bet the roofer doesn't have a
Doesn't do the
masonry
bricklaying.
division in his department, so.
Put that out separately, though. I mean, when you take down those two wings, all you're doing is building a brick wall.
Well,
They've been building brick walls for hundreds of years around here.
But there are-
If you get a competent mason can build a brick wall.
who shuts the water off? Who shuts the electricity off? It's not gonna be the person that tears down the building. It's those kinds of things, the details that's why we need a general
making sure
contractor.
supplies are here on time. I mean, that's why you have.
Well, that's what a clerk of the
Contractor.
works would also do, too, to make sure the supplies are here on time, and make sure that everything is done properly. But a clerk of the works would be far less expensive than a general contractor.
Well, let's put this out to bid and see what we get.
And if you're gonna, if that's the way you're gonna do it, then I wouldn't be concerned really about advertising costs, because you can far more recoup your advertising costs with a better bid on a general contractor by probably tens of thousands, or, could it be close to 100,000 on $1 million project? I don't know, but I wouldn't be, I'd probably advertise in, say, the Boston Globe. I'm sure general contractors would very willingly come up from Massachusetts, or Portland, or, anywhere. I wouldn't just limit it to, because it's expensive to put it in the Union Leader.
We
'Cause you
did.
can
We
far
did.
recoup
We didn't.
your-
We
those
didn't.
costs.
We did, I
The
just,
Dodge report is what's read by anybody in the industry that's bidding a job.
yeah, yeah. Okay, I guess we need to call for a motion.
You made it, I thought.
I made the motion, but we didn't vote on it.
We did.
We did?
Yeah.
You didn't vote the motion, you made the motion.
We made the motion.
Yep.
All those in support of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, nay. Okay. We'll put it out for bid, and we'll see what we get back. If it's way out of whack, then we'll resubmit
We'll
it.
split it up.
We'll-
We'll do something different.
We'll do something different. And that, the commissioner, the Board of Commissioners has the right to accept and refuse any and all bids.
Right.
That goes in the specifications. Okay? Okay, our agenda. We got 15 minutes before we have a
Non-public.
call from attorney. What's that?
Before we have the non-public with the
Non-public,
attorney.
I think we can go right in to do the non-public review,
Oh, okay, that's right.
but I guess we need public input first.
I have a couple of questions here.
Go ahead.
I'd like to ask Commissioner Kenney a question. We come in here day in and day out, and we know how hard the ladies work downstairs in our office. And last week, and we ought to leave them alone to get their work done, but last week you requested in 91A all of the W-2 forms for all the employees, including elected officials, for 2013. Before, that's 460 some odd pieces of paper that the Social Security has to be redacted off it. The medical information and insurance has to be taken off it. Before we could even answer that, you sent another one in requesting the last 5 years, which now ups it to approximately 2,000 W-2 forms that we gotta go over and do.
Last 5 year of what?
You asked for the last 5 years of W-2s.
I have to check my request.
I got it right here.
I got it here
Yeah,
too.
you have, okay, what can I
That's,
see?
that's
And
400.
you have every right to do it. But if you're looking for the information on one or two individuals, why don't you just ask for that rather than have them go through
Here we
a
go.
myriad of work for some reason that you don't want to let anybody know what you're doing?
Last 5 years.
We don't have the time or the manpower.
we got a problem.
Yeah, Commissioner Babson, I've been asking for years information and I get no information. So I have to file 91As now. The W-2 forms are all public information. Anyone from the public can come and review them and ask if they can reject certain information.
I understand that, and I said you have every right to do that, but do you need 2,000 of them? I mean, you must be looking for something. If you go on 10,000, why don't you go back to 1,800 if that's the case? I mean, we don't have the time to chase around
I just
with
came
these
in
things.
and
And then
I-
when you came in, you didn't even look at them.
Yeah,
You looked at 2001 package of 2013.
What she gave to me, I looked quick into it. And a lot of information is already electronic, and if the information is electronic, if there's a 91A request, that is the way they have to give it.
Right, so it's electronic, that's fine, but they still have
So
to go
you-
through electronically on
you said you
2,000
have-
W-2 forms and take out the social security numbers and the health records. And we don't have the time to do it.
There is no any health records in a W-2 form.
There's insurance information on every one of those
You
forms.
can reject everything.
Okay, I think what Commissioner Babson's alluding to is, we're under the gun to get financial statements and auditing done by the firm out of Portland. And they are sending us 100 items that they want. Kathy Gary's doing the best she can to get that to them. But if she's interrupted and having to do something else, then that puts that off. Please be a little bit considerate. Let's get through with this financial stuff and the auditing, and then ask for whatever information, because it is time consuming.
I just want to say, the audit company will ask the same information, so everything should be ready, available. The audit company asks for a long time for information. The stuff should be filed, that should be electronic available. I also find out that 2010 audits were not done. I asked a while for it, and are here. We have the audits downstairs. I didn't get anything. Later, I got some records, financial records, but that is not an audit. And I believe that Friday we had the audit company from Portland also here, and he recognized that that was also not an audit. So they're doing also the audit of 2010.
That's correct.
That's correct, we passed
We voted for it
that.
last 2 weeks ago to do it.
Yep. So the point I'm trying to make is, please try to,
Be considerate.
be a little considerate of Kathy Gary in particular. She's the one that's got to get it over, and we put the pressure on her to get it done.
I just
That's
don't
all I
un-
can say.
I just don't understand, Commissioner Sorensen, really what the issue is. Audits should be done a long time ago. We're behind now, 10, 11, 12, 13. The same information what I asked, the audit company asked too, it should be already available.
Why don't you wait until the
So-
audit is done, and then you have your answers? Please give her a chance.
Can I have an answer, why was the audit not done of 2010, 11, 12, and 13? If you look at 2010, we actually, the bond money came in, to build a new nursing home, $23 million.
Yeah.
Most of the bond money came in and to spend it. Why is there no audit done? So the new nursing home, all the receipts, everything, we built that building was never audited, correct?
That's correct.
And why is it stopped then suddenly? Why are the audits stopped suddenly in 2010? I still don't
Why
get
wasn't it done in 2011, 2012, and 13 while you were
10, 11,
here?
12, 13. What about 10? It stopped by 10.
You were here too
I
when
was
it was
here.
not done.
And I was asking for it, and I hear it was done. Remember?
Well, I heard it was done too.
You told the delegation meeting, at a delegation meeting, in the budget line, $15,000 is for the auditors, it's legal, that was done.
That's right.
And
I
I've
did
been
say
asking
that.
for a few years, can I see the audits? I never got to see them.
The
Last year I
issue
asked a
here
couple
isn't
times.
audits.
the
The issue
point-
here isn't audits, it's coming in and wanting copies of 2,000 W-2 forms that the information has to be redacted from, and we don't have the time to do it. If you want the information, which you're entitled to, say you want it for John Lyford, say you want it for Chris, for Albee, say you want it for me, say you want it for Sorensen, and pick it out. But don't have us going through 2,000 to find the stuff for one or two people, or whatever you're looking for.
So
If
you
it's
got the
already
point,
elect-
right?
No, I don't understand. It's already
Doesn't.
electronic. It's already there. So I still don't
So
know
you
what the
should be
issue
able to
is.
get it then.
The audit company
Yeah.
asks for the same thing. So if it is already there and I should send the information, it's already there.
So I guess the point that I'm trying to make is, why don't you wait until the audit is done, and then you can have all that information?
Yeah, I can
Okay.
wait and then I get a few.
All right.
I mean, it's already ready, available. It's
You
just
got-
have to take it
You
out.
got the message, so that try not to bother Kathy Gary. Let her get that stuff out of here and get it done. Okay? Anything else they brought up at our regular meeting?
No.
Okay, then I'll open it up to public input. Go ahead, Melissa.
I believe that when you file a right to know request, the receiver of that request can either provide the information immediately, deny it in writing within 5 days, or give a time period of when it could reasonably be provided. So I would suggest perhaps that would be the avenue when Commissioner
Okay.
Kenney or anyone else requests 2,000 documents. We can get to it, but not today. I'd also like to know if commissioners come in and make an excess amount of copies, if they're charged like we are,
If they're charged like you are,
25 cents per page.
they should be.
Are they?
I haven't checked the office whether they've been charged or not.
Were any of those 2,000 pages actually printed?
That, for what now?
No, they were not.
W-2
They were not
They were
printed.
not.
She got, my understanding is she got 2013
I reviewed
W-2 forms that she
them. I
went
reviewed
through.
some.
So I guess my point is
May I
that
answer the question?
Go ahead, let Mr. Babson, Commissioner Babson answer.
Melissa, when I saw this request, because of 91A regulations, you can't call David and talk with him and discuss it. I can't call Asher and discuss it because it's a quorum. So I asked Wynette to send Asher a email, the note that I had written up, and in it explained that it would be a 91A request, and according to the meeting that you folks all went to over in Madison, 50 cents was a fair price, and please bring in $1,000, and we'll be glad to print it out. So yes, if it had been printed out, there would have been a charge.
Okay, so I guess what I'm also trying to determine is, I know that as commissioners, you have a certain amount of working papers, like you all have a copy of the RFP today, you all have, certain things that are required for the board to move forward in making decisions. But if a commissioner comes in and says, just as an example, for my own personal discovery, I'd like every phone bill that we've ever paid for 5 years. I was wondering if I don't believe the access to information policy that you currently have in place addresses situations like that. But I was wondering what your policy is, or if you have one at all, or what your thoughts are. Because in all fairness, if I am an elected official here and I just go into a file cabinet and take 1,000 copies home with me, I think I should have to pay for that.
I think you just heard my explanation of how I feel about it. You pay for it.
Yep.
And that was,
That goes for the delegation too. I know the delegation was in making a lot of copies
Yes.
Monday morning, early before the meeting, and they should be charged the same.
the delegation.
It should be charged to their budget
Right,
item.
right. I would agree with that, it should just be fair.
Okay,
And that wasn't specifically targeting Commissioner Kenney, that was just any elected official, it should.
yep.
You're right.
I looked up the delegation meeting minutes from October 21st of 2013. At that meeting, they passed a motion to allow 18 months from that date,
Oh, good.
October what?
So
October 21st. So I fast forwarded and that puts it at April 21st.
April 15.
April 21st, 2015.
Good, thank you. How
And
do you
that's-
do that so fast?
That's a Wednesday. The magic of technology.
It's because of our Wi-Fi.
Yes, it is.
That's what you're supposed to say, the
Thank you,
Wi-Fi.
Mr. Babson, for that Wi-Fi.
So it's April
April 15,
21.
2016?
2015.
April 21st, 2015.
15, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
yeah,
And that's a Wednesday.
okay.
Just throw that in there too.
Didn't they say this week that the time was up in, I swear I heard August or July or some early date that struck me
I
as
think they
wrong?
meant next year,
I
though.
mean, that was the date that Dorothy came in and presented that plan, and there was a lot of discussion, and they decided very narrowly to give her 18 months to put together a plan and funding
Yeah.
for the homeless shelter. So if there was any other discussion after that as to timelines or deadlines, I didn't have a chance to look that up yet.
Okay.
But that was the 18-month number. And then I had a wonderful opportunity this morning to watch Monday's delegation meeting video with some folks, some local folks, who had never seen the process, never watched any of the videos, didn't know what the delegation was, so that was kind of fun. And thank you to Ed at GovernmentOversite.com for that. And until we got to the end of the meeting, I gotta say, they were quite impressed by the performance of Commissioner Kenney in response to that right-to-know request for proof. But they also had stated that they were glad the way that Representative McConkey stepped forward and, kind of calmed things down. But I wanted the Board of Commissioners to know that yesterday I actually filed in writing a request for proof that employees are fudging mileage reimbursement sheets, so.
And your request went to who?
Cheryl.
To Cheryl?
Yep.
For us? Or the delegation?
Because for the commissioners, because Commissioner Kenney had made the statement that people are billing for mileage that they didn't actually incur the expense of. So I filed it with Cheryl because that's your process. So now she's logged it. The time started ticking yesterday for the 5 days, and so.
Go ahead, Commissioner.
I have I guess just a process question. It sounds to me like the discussion concerns a statement that Commissioner Kenney made, not what the board made. So is the board responsible for doing all the work to try to find the 5 people that rode in the van? Or would you like to join up with 2,000 papers and help us look? I just,
I know.
who's responsible in this case? And that's a serious question. Commissioner
I
Kenney, or is that us?
I think the Board of Commissioners is once it goes to the board. However, what happened to your recommendation to the delegation that they do an investigation? You quoted an RSA that allows them to do that.
Right, and they chose not to immediately take that request and form a committee to do an investigation. I got the feeling from the meeting, though, that if I file it, they asked me to go through the process, actually file the request, so I did. And then if
Okay.
that wasn't resolved in a legal manner, to come back to them. So
All right, could we then,
I got the impression when I left, I had the impression when I left that they would be willing to possibly investigate it rather than going through the legal process.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it could very well, I have a feeling that there's no proof.
well, we don't know that yet, but if we sent you a letter, since you requested a 91A, if we sent you a letter saying that we're waiting for Representative McConkey's statement that he wanted to see the proof, would that be sufficient?
They're two separate things.
It's two separate things. But we're talking about the same
Because
subject.
Mark asked as an elected official to another elected official, I mean, technically he filed a verbal right to know, right, on Monday, so we actually have two separate right to know requests. Mine just happens to be in writing. And I hate to put this burden on the Board of Commissioners, but the statement was made at a commissioners meeting when you were sitting as a board, and Commissioner Kenney represents the board in that context, so I'm sorry, but that's,
It's going to take us some time to find that if it's available.
and if it doesn't exist, it doesn't
It
exist.
is-
You've
it
got
is
some people that
available.
have been here for a very, very long time. That if it happened, I think perhaps you could first, have them go back in their memory bank and see if they even remember anything like this.
Okay?
It did happen, and I think I make a motion that if we have a meeting or a conference or training, and if employees are going in a carpooling, that if they come back to the county, all of them shouldn't be putting in for mileage. I think only the driver should be putting in. And I will go back to it because I went to the same conference, and they were parked in front of me, and they get out all of the van. And in a few weeks, when I came to back to the county, I saw that each of them put in for mileage. I
Okay.
have to go back and see how it was.
All right, then
So
that's,
I saw it, and it was also, somebody also notified me, it was on other occasion. I was not there, but 2 people came in. And somebody said there are 2 employees of the here that just step out, they came in one van. And when I have to sign the checks again, I saw they both put it in, so.
Well,
Okay.
that raises another concern. You know that they did something inappropriate, perhaps even illegal, but
I
you signed
brought
the
it up
checks.
at that time. I had Solomon here. I brought it up, and they told me that is how they've been doing it here. That is what she said. I said I had a concern. I brought it immediately up at the time because I didn't want to sign the checks. And I said, they all went there together. I was there. I saw them getting out of the van. Now each one is putting in. And I heard that that is how they've been doing business here in the county. And I said, that's a change. I also talk about, like the post office, the mailbox. Everyone is going and get mileage. They go every day to the mailbox. I believe
No.
each department, and they get
I
mileage.
think Ann Eaton is the only one that goes to give.
No,
give-
a
You're
couple
signing
other
the
are
checks,
going to.
Commissioner, it says right there, Ann Eaton does it for
Ann
the
Eaton.
downstairs, she does it for the,
She's going for
For
everyone.
wages.
She's doing it now for the
picking up the
sheriff's
mail.
department. She is picking it up for the county attorney. She's picking up for
Yes,
everyone?
yes, she
Oh,
is.
because in 2011, when I saw it, was not. Everyone is going. Everyone putting in for mileage. It's the same at the bank. They
Okay,
go into the
look,
bank and they put in for mileage.
if
I already brought it up.
you brought that up, so why don't you bring that information in
Yeah, I
and
have,
show it to us,
I have
okay?
to go back.
It's the same
and
old
go-
question about you saying things, but we have to go back and ask you to present it.
Yeah. it will
Now, if
take
you
a-
know about the 5 people that were in the van, then that's going to simplify
I said a
our
couple people.
time.
I don't think that I say a number.
yes, you
I'm
did.
not sure.
You
Did
said
I-
5
did I say
people.
a
5
number?
people.
Oh, I gave an example. I don't know precisely
Oh.
how much were there.
Well,
You
you-
Were it 5 people?
Asha, you're
Uh,
accusing them of stealing,
You
number
don't
You
one.
know,
it.
there
And
where
you're admitting you helped them.
And you admitted that you helped them by signing it.
no,
I don't
no.
know.
All right, we got to move on.
Let's go
here.
ahead, move on.
We got the point, and we'll try to work on it, okay?
Thank you.
If she knows
I-
when it was done, it would simplify things, and it would save time, and we'll try to
It
get
will
that
take a little
information
time because
to
I
you.
have to go back to see if they
You
are not
handle,
busy to get all the mileage and get it
would
back.
you then handle the 91A and say that we need more time to investigate it?
Yeah, I
until you
have to
could
go
do it?
back to
Okay.
all the sheets and
All right.
check it out. But it
Anything
happened.
else, Melissa?
No.
No. Mr. Brown?
Talking about mileage, what was the question that Commissioner Babson had about people putting in for mileage in parking at Logan Airport?
Right.
It wasn't a
He can
question, it
answer
was a
that.
fact.
So is that something different than what we're discussing here about?
Yeah,
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. It's like,
So-
sort of like shredding documents and taking trash from the nursing home. They're not related.
So what was your concern about that? I mean, is that people are doing?
We had an employee that went on an air trip from Logan, drove to Logan, charged, we paid her $136 for transportation. I forget the tolls, and we paid her $106 or $108 for parking. when an individual can go down to C&J, park their car for nothing, pay $40,
42.
and in my case, get a free donut, and go down to Logan. And it's an unnecessary expense to us. They run C&J all but 3 hours a day, and we shouldn't have to pay that extra money so that somebody who knows what they did after they parked their car or why they needed to do it.
So it sounds similar to what Commissioner Kenny's
No,
saying.
because
No.
there's not two people riding in the same car and both getting paid.
All right,
But it sounds like that, it's not an effective way to transport one person to Logan.
that's correct.
So,
But that's different than the other 5.
um,
And he picked that up by signing the check. That's how he found out about it.
But they didn't do anything wrong. It's
No,
just-
they did not, they did absolutely
You didn't have a
nothing wrong. We
policy
just
that-
established that we paid that amount of money and established a policy last week, so from now on, that won't happen.
Yeah, but even if they bring that forward, if you don't agree, you don't have to sign that.
I know,
mean,
and you didn't.
no, but if you don't agree, because we still have control over the budget.
Yeah.
So if they come with something and they put it in and you don't agree, you don't have to sign it, that the person take or mismanaged it and take all this money and so
That's
much
very true,
mileage.
but the person didn't do anything wrong. What he is
No,
trying
I
to
wouldn't
say
sign
is
it.
there's another way of doing it that would be less expensive to the taxpayers. And that's why we passed
And
it.
it would be nice if we didn't have to have the policy, that when people go, they think the better way to do it is to go to C&J and save the county money.
Okay, you had something else, Mr. Brown?
yes, the audits.
Yep.
I mean, how long have we been talking about audits? And then when the audit, supposedly when the question come up, they were actually not audits, but financial
Financial
statements.
statements, correct.
And then I believe Commissioner Babson brought in his personal CPA to discuss it. But now we're finding out that the audits haven't been done since,
Yeah.
for at least, what, 3 years?
2010.
2010. But by RSA, you're mandated to do that. How come they haven't been done?
It stopped in 2010, and we were told it was done.
We were told that it was done, and it wasn't.
But in 2010...
The audit wasn't done, the financials were done, but the audits weren't. That's why we hired this outfit out of Portland to do the audits.
Excuse me, David, just so there's no question here, the financials for 2010 were done.
We're done,
Not
right.
the audit. The other
Right.
financial and audits for the other 2 years were not done.
You know, I'm a little bit confused about that financial statements were also done for 2010, because
I got them,
talked
they're downstairs.
I talked to Mason and Rich, the company, and they told me they didn't do the financial statements, that they did an MS form, a 45, a form
Well-
that goes to DRA, only a form. But I asked them the preparation, did you do the preparation? They said no. And I asked her to get it. She said Mason and Rich. I said, is it maybe John Lightfoot that did it also? Then she said she doesn't know. She was going to check who did the statements. But if Mason and Rich said that they didn't do it,
Commissioner Babson, would you try to explain that we do have the financial statements?
but
For
Mason and Rich
10,
said they didn't.
2010.
They didn't do the
2010.
financial statements.
In that package.
we've got it.
We
It's the
have the
audit.
one for 2010, they had it. You voted, along with David and myself, to pay Bulio to do the audit. He came in here, he sat right here and said that he had the financial statement. We now have the financial statements for 2010, 11, and 12, they're down in the office.
There are statements, once again, Mason and Rich said that they didn't make up the statements.
Look,
I don't
Doesn't come
care
from
what
them.
they say.
To answer the
Asha,
question, you can look at
This
them,
came
okay?
from Bulio, and he has them.
All right. Go ahead, Ed.
The question to be asked is, Mr. Chairman, who didn't give you the right information?
Who, what?
Who did not give you the correct information? Who came to you and said that they were done, but they in fact weren't? Who is that person?
Our office staff.
is that person still working here?
Yes,
Have they been disciplined?
no.
Second question, does the outline of the travel policy handle the concern Commissioner Kenney has
Which is,
about having multiple people in a van? Is that written into the policy?
No,
What's
because it's a
acceptable?
no-brainer. That's stealing, and it doesn't happen here as far as when I'm signing checks.
yeah,
So the question, it isn't in the policy?
It is not in the policy, and anybody that gets caught doing will be reprimanded
Yeah.
or fired.
yeah.
Question 3, are you going to officially create the grant review committee that you stated in the delegation recently that you've already formed?
Yeah, I-
Because there was no motion to start the committee. I don't know if there has to be.
No, there wasn't. I think Commissioner Babson asked for volunteers, and I believe you volunteered and Melissa volunteered.
So there doesn't have to be.
Now, I don't know what's going to happen now with the delegation. As you know, Representative Godelli brought up this form, and now they want to take back that responsibility, apparently. But if you have any questions or comments regarding what he presented, send them to him or to the
Get
chairman.
our representative to the delegation for the grant committee. It appears to me that Ed's right, we got two committees going here at the same
Yep.
time, and I think we ought to combine them.
What I've noticed in every town that I brought this up to, at all levels, every elected official seems to feel that it's a good idea to have a grant review
Yeah,
to assist them, because a lot of times departments come to them with grants, and maybe the grant writer has reviewed it, but the report to the elected official is not
Mhm.
very complete.
yep,
So it would help everyone. Perhaps this could be state legislation at some point. It would be good to have a small group of working grant review committees to see how effectively it would help the elected officials.
okay.
Thank you.
Can I ask
Thank
a
you.
question, Ed?
We got supposed to have a conference call here at 11:30.
I'll
We're
ask
late
one
already,
quick
but go
question.
ahead.
Your grant review, I just got the impression that you're talking about it from the basis of the person writing it. I'm looking at it from the committee. Read it and find the fine print that we mostly overlook, like paying the dog officer an extra hour or half an hour every day to feed the dog. Most people wouldn't say that type of thing. Is
That
what-
would be the reason for the grant review.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. What I would like to do, we,
If I could finish up
Alright.
with, before Mr. Comeau interrupted me.
okay,
The question wasn't answered as to why the audits weren't done. There has to be a better explanation than we were told they were done. And you clearly need to have a policy, I guess, beyond the RSA that already states that audits need to be done, I believe it's annually, correct? So do we need a policy to reinforce an RSA?
no.
Then why weren't they done for 4 years?
We were told that they were done, and we didn't check to make sure that they were done. The person that said that they were done had the financial statement, and she thought that was part of the audit, and it was not. So,
This is a violation of an RSA. And it doesn't appear there's gonna be any accountability.
Well, we don't know that.
So the way you are answered, Commissioner Sorensen, the person thought it was an audit. So you want to tell me the person doesn't know the difference between an audit and financial statements? Because if you see there the books, if you're going back, the audit, everything came in a binder. Notice like a green book. So
mhm.
that's an audit. Financial statements not. And I asked for it when I heard on video that the audit was done in 2010.
Yep.
I said I want to go down and I want to see the green book and the binder. And I didn't get to see it. Later they came up statements, but Mason and Rich said they didn't do the statement, so they don't know from where it comes. And I've been told it comes from Mason and Rich.
What happened was that Lyford, who did the financial statements, Mason and Rich did the auditing. Lyford got sick, did not do it. He did the financial statements for 2010, my understanding. And it never went to Mason and Rich to do the audit. So it's being done, and hopefully it will clean things up,
We'll have a
Do you know
clean
what?
start.
and we'll have a clean start.
You know
So,
what, talking to Mason and Rich, they didn't even know that John Lyford was doing financial statements for the county. They didn't even know. They were surprised.
well, he worked for him, so I don't know what, that's their problem.
They were surprised.
Okay, look,
No,
we-
he's retired a few years
For the
ago.
grant review, I'd like to volunteer also.
You're on the team.
Okay. All right, what we're gonna do is we're gonna move into non-public to one, you're smiling. No. To review the non-public minutes I have here, to see if we can release some. And we're gonna go into that non-public session to provide, I know, we're coming,
Okay, I'll be downstairs.
okay. To protect the reputation of those people that are mentioned in those non-public minutes. And what we want to do is try to release as many as we can. Second thing is, we're going to be talking with our attorney under non-public. And
meeting.
it's a non-meeting.
So that is
It's
negotiations.
regarding union negotiations. And if we come back into, we will come back into public and we'll explain what happened in the non-public session, whether they were sealed or not sealed, okay? So that's where we stand.
I'll make a
Anybody?
motion, we go into a non-public for, can you give me the numbers, David? For the telephone, for the we're gonna do them both at once, or are we gonna do, we have to, I guess, because one's a non-meeting and one's not a non-meeting?
Right.
Well,
Are we doing-
we go into a non-public meeting. We're gonna make the telephone call first, right?
Yes,
Now, right?
yes.
Okay, well, we can do the other
We're
one
late.
back. To a non-public meeting for a non-meeting to discuss union negotiations.
I'll second it. Roll call?
Commissioner Kenney?
Yes.
Commissioner Sorensen?
Yes.
Commissioner Babson?
Yes.
Okay.
And we come out of non-public, and then you will explain what we did in the non-public session, which was a non-meeting. We'll go back into non-public,
You make a motion to do it.
okay? I'll make a
Hang
motion.
on, wait a minute.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, I better be quiet.
Okay?
Yep.
Go ahead.
I'll make a motion that we come out of non-public session after completing our non-meeting.
Second it. Any further discussion? Roll call?
Commissioner Sorensen?
Yes.
Commissioner Babson?
Yes.
Okay, and so voted. It's an hour in public.
Now you have to tell them what we did. We've already explained, but go ahead.
We talked with our attorney regarding union negotiations.
Right, it was a non-meeting.
It was a non-meeting, so we don't have any minutes. Now we need to go back into
I'll
non-public?
make a motion that we go back into non-public. I need that sheet to tell us which one it is this time. And what
Well,
do we
it's not-
use for review of minutes?
I think it goes in under reputation.
I think it goes in under whatever it originally was in.
Yeah, which was what?
And multivarious is probably one of each.
Well, can't go, what's the point of putting them all down? Each one of those is probably a different instance. Some might be litigation, some might be promotion, some might be, who knows
No, I
what.
think in the minutes the last time I just put under various.
Ed, what would make you happy to put this down?
How do we review the minutes in non-public?
It would be under the same item that you went into originally to go into non-public for.
Well, Ed, you're an intelligent young man, so we're gonna go into non-public for personnel. We're gonna look at one set of minutes, we're gonna take a vote to come out of non-public, to go back into it again, to look at the next one that might be litigation. Now we're gonna come out again, and now we're gonna go back in. That just doesn't make sense.
Oh, so they're not, so every single non-public review is for different things?
Yes, it's going over the last month's worth of
Whatever
non-public
it
minutes.
is.
That's,
I
We
think
don't want you
it's,
to take us to court, tell us what
I
to
think
do.
it's on reputation, isn't it? Are we trying to preserve reputation of those people that were talked about in the non-public?
oh, you could say, you could actually, in the beginning of the non-public, say all the ones that you're gonna do. If one's reputation, say it now, per paragraph, what paragraph is it?
But we don't know, we
Well,
don't know
you don't
which
have it in
one.
front
We're
of
gonna
you.
review all of them.
They're all over the place.
You tell us, you got us in court, you tell us what'll make you happy and we'll do it.
I think reputation probably works though, because
I think
I
reputation
think
will.
reputation, do it.
I mean, when you release them, it'll be obvious that they were called under the proper one for each particular thing, but it's mostly to protect other people's privacy and,
Yeah.
and reputation that you have.
Well, the purpose is to review the non-public minutes.
Under 91A.
Under 91. Under 91A?
Yeah,
Yeah. The 91A.
Yeah, you're right.
Non-public minutes.
91A paragraph 3, correct?
some of them are 3, some of them are 2.
Paragraph 3 is acquisition or sale and lease of real estate or personal property.
And paragraph 3,
Unless that's paragraph, oh, they're all A3s, okay, I'm sorry. Parole board,
You have some paragraph 2s at the bottom.
I think it's RSA 91A32C. Matters which discussed in public would likely affect adversely the reputation of any person other than a member of the public body, unless such person requests an open meeting.
I'll go along with that one. So my motion will be RSA A:3, 2, parentheses, A,
C,
C.
C.
Oh, excuse me, I was looking at the wrong, yes, C.
Okay, Commissioner Babson makes the motion. I'll second it, that we go in to review the minutes under RSA 91A32C.
Commissioner Kenney?
Yes.
Commissioner Sorensen?
Yes,
Commissioner Babson?
Yes,
okay. So now we're in non-public. You make a motion to come out of non-public into public.
that's right, I make a motion to come out of, not adjourn, I'm sorry. I make a motion to come out of non-public into public.
And I'll second it. Any further discussion?
And, yes, just so that there's no question, we reviewed non-public minutes, whatever that comes under on the list.
Yeah, that would be in the
And-
public session. Do you want to vote on the adjournment?
Oh, no,
No, we just came out.
From,
We
no,
have
from
public
adjournment
session.
from non-public,
we're voting on
He
coming
already-
out of non-public, going into public.
right,
All those in support of the motion say aye.
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 okay.
Roll
Now
call.
we're in public. Now you can explain what happened in non-public.
Okay, roll call if you're coming out of non-public.
Go ahead.
Commissioner Kenney?
Yes.
Commissioner Sorensen?
Yes.
Commissioner Babson?
Yes.
So then, so voted.
Okay.
Now we need to explain what happened in non-public.
We reviewed
And put in order.
and put in order. It's only been 1 hour and 5 minutes, just to put the minutes in order. We unsealed 2, I believe. And that was it.
Okay? And we have no reason to seal those minutes because we only approved 2, to release 2.
Oh, and the other, well, if you want, the other minutes that remain sealed, we unsealed two, and then the others that were sealed remain sealed.
Okay.
Motion to adjourn?
We don't have to seal anything.
Don't have to seal anything.
Okay. I make a motion that we adjourn.
I'll second it.
Any further discussion? All those who support the motion say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, nay.
Are you gonna ball game tonight?